What's going on, everybody? B. Scott, I'm here with.
The one and only Godzilla.
And on today's show, we got your matchups going into week 6, game picks. We're going to be picking the spreads, going through every single matchup, and giving you our opinions on where these teams are going to lie after week 6. So keep it locked on right here at the first 4 downs.
You already know. Drop it.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. B. Scott, God here. We're going over the matchups. Heading into week 6, we're going to look at every single game, give you our opinions, our picks on the spreads, and tell you who the winners are going to be.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. Comment. If you got a comment on any of these matchups we're going to be going through, drop in the comment section, and we'll be glad to give you our opinions or further information based on what we're going through.
Period.
Absolutely. So let's just start. Period.
Yeah. First game in the UK. And so far, the UK stands for unknown.
I'm telling you. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. This is not a fun game to pick.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Miami favored by 3.5. The over-under is 47 points. Miami's decimated with injuries. Plain and simple. It's the best way I can describe it. They got injuries on both sides of the ball. No Preston Williams. No Devontae Parker, no Will Fuller. Obviously, we get to see the return of Tua. But then on the defensive side, no Xavier Howard.
Was he really that
Byron
good
Jones
before he left?
I mean, he's an upgrade from Jacoby Brissett. That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, I guess.
Plain and simple. So, Miami Dolphins got a lot of injuries, but they still have some talented players. They haven't been playing great on both sides of the ball. And then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's to say about them? They're 0-5. You know, they played very good against the Bengals for a little while.
I've had my own reservations about the game, and I really don't know what to make of it, except for that it's in England. And I know the Jaguar is an England car. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you really just take Jacksonville money line here, because obviously sometimes you got to win. But that didn't work last week. You know what I mean? We're looking at, another rookie quarterback in England. They are 0-5 against the spread, when they cross the pond, if you want to call that a pond. So I don't know. Both of these teams suck. Let's just be real about it. If you really had to pick a game, I think you would go to who's the most healthiest, right?
Right.
But their coach don't seem to be there or at all, whether it's the locker room or on the flight or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He likes to go to bars. There's a lot of bars in England.
I'll tell you what, if they lose the game, maybe you can take the boat ride. You can take the ferry all the way home, because maybe he's not the head coach anymore. I don't know.
That ferry looks like the Titanic, because both of these teams suck, and so does the Jacksonville Jaguars. Honestly, I'm going to go with Miami here.
That's fine.
I'm going to just pull Miami out to win it. Some kind of way. I really don't know how they win, but I'm going to just say Miami.
Okay, I'm going to go, honestly, and the worst part is I went with the Jets last week and the rookie quarterback, and that was not a smart move at all. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville here. I just think their offense can get it rolling against the Miami defense that hasn't looked good, period.
Yeah.
And then I worry about Miami just being without the weapons on offense. So I'm going to go Jacksonville on the money line here. I think it's going to be over. I'm going to give the score. Jacksonville squeaks out a win, 27-26.
I completely believe you, because I'm 0-100 in England games.
Okay, yeah. So we'll move on to the next matchup.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Plain and simple. Los Angeles Chargers on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore favored -2.5. The over-under is 51.5. Baltimore coming off a great win, albeit they've come back in all their wins. They've really come back outside of Denver. Don't get me wrong, and Denver's offense looked bad in that game anyway, but Baltimore's looked like a good football team, plain and simple. Lamar Jackson, when you hold him down from running the football, he can throw the ball. A lot of people don't give him the respect. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, I thought he was a wide receiver. Ain't he a running back?
Yeah, no.
No, he's a quarterback.
440 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Outstanding game to come back in that game against the Colts. Plain and simple. Now you got the Chargers coming to town. The Chargers are the real deal. They're legit. Now, can they win the football game? Can the Chargers win the football game? That's the question. Now, the offense of the Chargers is lights out. All 3 levels. They got great receivers on the outside, a great running back, tight ends. They got it all. And the defense plays very well. They were in an absolute barn burner with the Cleveland Browns last week.
Yeah.
47-42. Austin Eckler got picked up and carried into the end zone for a touchdown. So, this is a tough game to pick, plain and simple. For me, I'm going to take the Chargers on the 2.5 just because I think maybe the Chargers can put them away and get ahead. Baltimore started slow in a lot of their games. If the Chargers can really just clean up the penalties that they have, especially in the red zone, they might be able to put the Baltimore Ravens away. So I'm going to take the Chargers here. And honestly, at the 51.5, I know that the over is like very, very tempting. I'm going to take the under here. I'll give the score 27-24 Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay. And that's the difference between these two teams. And I feel like, you look at the LA Chargers. In the past, they've been in a lot of one-score games, and they fixed that this year, going to Mike Williams a lot. And in the early on, he's on a contract year, he's doing his thing, and it's great. The other thing about that was that they wasn't going to Eckler in the red zone at all. Now you've seen Eckler flourish a lot, but they do tend to know how to lose football games. If you go to the Baltimore Ravens, though, no matter if it's a scrub team or a very powerful team like the Kansas City Chiefs, they find a way to win football games. And they are 4-0 on the spread, at home. So I'm going to take Baltimore in this game. You know what I mean? You look at that Colts game on Monday night, that was absolutely incredible. Matter of fact, it was remarkable, to be honest with you.
It was.
The only quarterback in NFL history to throw 400 yards and 85% of his passes completed. I think even though the Chargers are shutting down the pass a little bit, they're not shutting down that run. And, that's Lamar's specialty. That's what he does. They give up gashes to the running back position. You know what I mean? Just mobile quarterbacks, period. So I feel like they have an advantage there. And I'm going to stick with the Baltimore Ravens. If Mike Williams is out of this game, I'm taking the Ravens because, the Ravens got, no 6-foot corners against Mike Williams, a very physical player. You know what I mean? I don't think they've seen nothing like that. You know what I mean? If Mike Williams is in this game, I would probably go 3.5 LA Chargers. But if he's not, and there's a big consideration that he's not because he hasn't practiced all week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm going to take the Ravens at home.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, hopefully the Ravens can get that running game going last week.
Yeah.
You saw it. They tied the record 2 weeks ago. Last week was the first game. They didn't have 100 yards rushing in 43 contests. You know what I mean? So hopefully they can get the running game going. The Los Angeles Chargers give up the most rushing yards to running backs. Huge yards per carry to running backs, plain and simple. That's where you beat them. So I think the Baltimore Ravens, of course, I give them a chance in this game. I by no means am I sitting here thinking the Chargers are just going to steamroll the Baltimore Ravens. But I just think the Chargers, if they get up in this game, they can put them away. So we'll move on to the next matchup. We'll split on that one. Minnesota on the road against Carolina Panthers. Minnesota favored by 2.5 in this matchup. I'm shocked they're favored, to be honest. And then the over-under is 46. Plain and simple. Minnesota, I don't know what to make of them. I really don't. They have great offensive weapons, plain and simple. Even without Dalvin Cook, you see what Alexander Mattison can do. And then on top of that, their defense, it's starting to get a little healthier. And their defensive line is actually a strong suit. I think that's probably why they're favored in this game. Carolina's offensive line has not looked good, especially recently. Carolina Panthers, coming off a bad loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, honestly was a big favorite in that game. And the offensive line got beat up. Plain and simple. You saw it. And Jalen Hurts can play at least a half of football. You know what I mean? To keep him in the game. So we've seen that on Thursday night. So, I'm torn with who I want to pick here. Honestly, I got Carolina on the plus at 2.5 because they're home. On top of that, I think their defense is still very, very good.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has struggled against good defenses a little bit. You saw it against the Cleveland Browns. Put up 7 points. You know what I mean? And I think Carolina's defense is probably maybe even a little bit better than Cleveland's at this point. So I gotta go with the Carolina Panthers at home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm gonna take just Carolina money line. Carolina is 6-1 at home when they're the dog. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take that there. And you look at Minnesota, 2-10 in the last 12 on the road.
Yeah.
Against the spread. What can I say? You know what I mean? The defensive line for Minnesota is very good.
Yeah.
Probably number 4 at the pressures right now. They're somewhere in the top 5, and they can get to the quarterback. You know what I mean? You're looking at Sam Darnold right now. I think the biggest thing with Sam Darnold with these turnovers, which is the problem on offense, is Robbie Anderson. You know what I mean? He's looking for him deep and just throwing up balls like he's Randy Moss. He's not Randy Moss. I think if they get him to go across the formation a little bit, put him more in the slot like he was in the Jets, they would be a little bit more successful. Now, we're looking at DJ Moore, who's absolutely eating. We're finally seeing that DJ Moore season break out. But ultimately, even though Christian McCaffrey's ruled out for this game, you look at Chuba Hubbard last week, he had 101 yards rushing on the ground. So I think they'll be just fine right there. And you think about the pace of the game. You know what I mean? Can they let Minnesota back in this football game if they happen to get up, or even it's a close fight. You know what I mean? I got Carolina at home dog. I'm taking them, period.
Yeah, I have to too. I think Chuba Hubbard is not Christian McCaffrey, but he played very well last week, and he also saw the lion's share of the touches, plain and simple. So I think he'll be fit in fine. I think Carolina has enough offensive weapons to get this done against the Minnesota Vikings defense that has played better, but has still struggled, especially in the secondary. So give me Carolina Panthers at home as a dog. I mean, I'll take that, honestly, almost any day of the week, depending on the opponent. So we're obviously split on that. I got Carolina squeaking out a win 24-23. On to the next matchup, Green Bay Packers. On the road against Chicago Bears. Green Bay favored by -5.5. 44 over and under. Chicago Bears, I think they're 44. They're set at 44. Literally, it's like Chicago Bears game, it's a 44 over under. It's been like that all year long. Only one time it's gone over.
That's because they can't put up no offense.
Yeah, but the defense is still pretty solid. So for me, I'm going to go Green Bay money line on this. I know it's 5.5, and it's like I could feel comfortable Green Bay winning probably by a touchdown, but Green Bay's still on the road. Chicago, Justin Fields is like, I mean, he's played better as of late, but he's still not played great. They're missing pieces. Allen Robinson possibly out of this game. I mean, he's been out of practice with a ankle injury. If I was him, I'd probably just take the day off anyway because they ain't throwing it to you anyway. So
yeah, even with Jair Alexander out, I mean, what are they doing through the air?
Yeah.
Nothing. You know what I mean? You look at the running game. Green Bay's been stopping the run a little bit lately. You know what I mean?
And they're down to their one running back left. Damian Williams on the COVID list. You got Khalil Herbert. That's it.
You know what I mean? And, you know, you look at Khalil Herbert last week, 11 of his 18 rushes came after they were up 14-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not really sure what to do there. But I think Green Bay wins by a touchdown. I'm going to take Green Bay with the spread.
Okay, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Green Bay's playing good enough to win football games. They have the lowest point differential for a winning record, plain and simple. What are they, 4-1? I think their point different. I think there might even be under on the point differential, to be honest. But they're getting it done. They're a football team. That's what separates, in my opinion, a lot of these football teams from being elite to like good, and then just bad football teams is like elite teams just know how to win football games when they matter. Period. And they get it done.
And you look on the defensive line front. You know that Green Bay's offensive line is in desperate shape right now. You know what I'm saying? As long as they can get the ball out fast, they'll be all right.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not scared of the Chicago Bears secondary, really.
Yeah,
who's gonna guard Devontae Adams, right? You said that to me for like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, so we're both on to Green Bay, plain and simple. I got the money line, you got the points. 26-21 Green Bay Packers. That's the scores. Cincinnati Bengals on the road against the Detroit Lions. Next matchup, Cincinnati favored by 3.5 on the road, 47 over and under. Detroit can't seem to score more than 17 points over the last 3 weeks. Their offense just looks kind of discombobulated, plain and simple. They got some weapons. Quintus Cephas is out now, but I don't think that mattered really much anyway. I mean, he started making plays, it looked like, but now he's out. Amon-Ra St. Brown starting to step up a little bit.
Yeah,
you see that?
Questionable.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty, plain and simple. Cincinnati coming off a bad loss. Loss to the Green Bay Packers at the very end of that game. Missed 3, 4, 5 field goals. You know what I mean? Should have won the game, plain and simple. Now they're on the road. I got to go with Cincinnati, to be honest, because I think they're going to bounce back. Joe Burrow's playing great. Their offensive weapons are fully healthy. Joe Mixon back in the lineup. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They're not going to be able to be stopped, plain and simple. So I got to take Cincinnati as a favorite in this one. Even at the 3.5, I'm going to buy it. And I think it's going to be under because Detroit, actually, their defense has not been giving up a ton of points, really. But I still think it's going to be a little under here. At the 47.
I got it under, even at 3.5, you know what I'm saying? You look at Cincinnati on the road in the last 10, 7-3, as a road favorite. You know what I mean? They're playing pretty good football. Even the Jacksonville game, they were down in that game in the first half, but they came back and won. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is ultimately, like, on offense and defense, they're pretty much balanced. You know what I mean? They need to find that thing that separates that one score, you know what I'm saying? But against Detroit, I mean, this is barbecue chicken. It is what it is. I really like Cincinnati right here, period. I think in a shootout, with everybody healthy, let's be real, Cincinnati gonna win this one.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, so You got Quinton Cephas out. You got Tyrell Williams. He's been out since he's been signed. I mean, it's over with. DeAndre Swift, all these guys, you know what I mean? I don't see it here.
Yeah, I don't either. I forgot about Tyrell Williams. He actually, I forgot he was on the team because he's always been on IR in the last, especially the last like 3 or 4 years of his career.
Yeah, well, hog down. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're both on Cincinnati, plain and simple. Even on the -3.5, I got it 23-17, Cincinnati Bengals. So on to the next game. We got the Houston Texans on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts favored by 10.5 in this game. 43.5 is the over/under. I got to go with the Houston Texans here. To be honest, the Colts secondary is really banged up. You saw it on Monday Night Football.
Win?
No. I got to take Texans on the 10.5. So look. I would love to give the Texans the win. The Colts are not a bad football team. They're not. They've actually got some bad luck, some bad ankles, and you know what I mean. It's
cursing and a blessing.
Yeah, it's just hasn't really worked out. Carson Wentz played great, and honestly, he's getting better as it goes along. Michael Pittman's starting to thrive. Paris Campbell, Zach Pascal, they're making plays. T.Y. Hilton might make an entrance.
Yeah, but if we had 10.5, that means a field goal is there, and we seen Blankenship give up this game Monday night. 2 missed field goals, crucial field goals.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if the punter's coming in and kick these field goals. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But the 10.5 is scary. You look at David Mills, played phenomenal last week. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Tyrod is probably coming back next week. So, you know, this is probably his last game starting. It could potentially be his last game starting.
Yep.
I think it's pedal to the metal and he's going to shoot it out. Period. He's going to throw the ball all over the field. Brandon Cooks is going to be open. You forget that Xavier Rhodes, Rocky Sin out for this matchup.
Yeah.
I think, you know, they're going to be able to shoot it out with these guys. I really see this as an over game. And I don't think Houston wins this one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in that division, somebody has to take control. I think the Colts win this one, but not by 10.5.
Yeah.
Blankenship is like, you know what I mean?
In my opinion, I still think the Colts are... I still think the Colts have a better team than the Tennessee Titans, and I think you're going to see that might flip-flop. Now, Tennessee is one of those teams last year that we talked about, or especially I talked about, that they were that team that knew how to win football games, especially the close ones. But the Colts are going to win this football game. The Houston Texans, they're going to hang in it, plain and simple. 10.5 is too large for me, and so I think we're both looking at Texans at the 10.5 spot.
Yeah.
And I got the over also because I think 43.5 is just too low. I think the Colts secondary you saw last week against, I mean, it was unreal. I mean, you're talking 25-yard passes, just no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Receiver.
I'm telling you. So we're both on the Texans here at the plus 10.5. We both got it over. I got the score. Indianapolis Colts 27, the Houston Texans 20.
Let's move to the Big Apple.
All right, here we go. Los Angeles Rams on the road against the New York Football Giants. The Rams favored by 9.5. The over-under, 48.5. I'm scared because the Giants tend to just show up in games weirdly and like cover spreads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'll be honest, I'm going to take the 9.5 for the Giants. Maybe I'll move it to 10.5 and I'll buy a point. So I can get that 10-point possibility. Daniel Jones looking like he's going to play. No Kenny Golladay, didn't matter. He wasn't doing anything anyway. Kadarius Toney, you see, yes, he's a little questionable, banged up, but he's looking good. He made some great catches last week against the Dallas Cowboys, albeit they got blown out.
You know who else looked good? Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. Jalen Ramsey always looks good. But he doesn't shadow anybody, and Sterling Shepard is back for this matchup. That's, like I said, Daniel Jones' security blankie. You know, a little silky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll be ready to go. So for me, obviously the Rams are going to win. I would take the Rams 10 out of 10 times. But I think I'm going to go with the Giants here at home at the 9.5 points. I'm going to move it to 10.5. And I just like it. I don't see... of course, I can see the Rams beating them by 2 touchdowns. Not saying that I cannot see that. But I think the Giants might be able to make some plays. Daniel Jones with his legs. We'll see if he doesn't get too wobbly to make it happen.
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
You know, you forget this is the worst offensive graded line, period, in football. Going against Aaron Donald. We've seen Aaron Donald put an end to potentially Seattle Seahawks complete offense. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're looking at this and you're wondering, can they score a touchdown? Because Saquon Barkley is out of this matchup. You know, Devontae Booker, yeah, he's good in a backup role. Can he handle this LA Rams defense? You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure about that. And Kadarius Toney, he's a rookie. Yeah, he looks really good. We showcased him on our Instagram. You know what I mean? He looked phenomenal, unstoppable force. But this is the prime time, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the Giants in this game at all. I think the LA Rams cover. I really feel like they beat them by 2 touchdowns, to be honest with you. I feel like it's going to be a big day for Darrell Henderson on the ground. And, Robert Woods last week, come on, man. 12 catches, 150.
Yeah.
They're going into the right direction where that offense needs to be. And, we seen the first half with, the first month, with Matthew Stafford. It's kind of shaky. Now they're going to their primary targets. They need this ultimate win. You know what I'm saying? On the road, on the season, I think they're 2-0. I got the LA Rams 9.5 and under 48.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going on a limb, honestly, with the 10.5 because it's just so many points for the Giants at home. Even though the Giants at home have been blown out twice already.
I'm just looking at that's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at the explosion. Where do they have explosion that can, take the ceiling off of the LA Rams defense? Maybe Darius Slayton catch one, but maybe he gets 10 thrown to him and catches one. Well, that's what Darius Slayton does. You know what I'm saying? If he's back for this matchup,
that's true.
Underneath, I think Jalen Ramsey and company can handle that. Without Saquon, I really don't know what they can put up offensively.
I got you. I think Daniel Jones playing his best when Sterling Shepard was healthy. He's going to be in the lineup, so we'll wait and see. And on top of that, you've seen last week, Kadarius Toney kind of get off a little bit. If they can build that connection, by no means do I think the Giants are going to win. I just think it's going to be close. So for me, I got the score. Los Angeles Rams 31, the Giants 24. So 7-point victory for the Los Angeles Rams. Maybe I'm being too generous for 24 points, to be honest. But on to the next matchup. Kansas City Chiefs on the road against Washington Football Team. Kansas City favored by -6.5.
Both of these guys give up the most points in the league.
Yeah, over-under's 54.5. I mean, you want to circle the over no matter what because, both these teams give up on average over 30 points per game. Both defenses look terrible. Washington Football Team lose to the Saints. The Kansas City Chiefs get blown out pretty much by the Buffalo Bills.
Bottom line, Kansas City, this is a must-win game against, an NFC team on the road. That's embarrassing. You know what I mean? Buffalo embarrassed them at home last week. If they can't beat Washington here by a substantial score, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Are they a top 10 team in this league?
This is probably the deciding factor, to be honest, this week, because this is a team that they should easily win and easily win by a lot for the most part.
Yeah.
But that defense is so poor that they're just giving up points and big plays all over the field, no problem. They're allowing, I want to say, what was the stat? I heard it this week. They're allowing a touchdown on 41% of drives, period.
That's
a score. It's it's unreal.
If they can't hold it here, we're Friday night. We've seen McLaurin come up with a hammy injury. We're not sure if Curtis Samuel is going to play. Dynamic Brown is also questionable. If they can't get this done with Adam Humphrey as the main target in this offense, what are we talking about? I'm taking Kansas City, period, 6.5 by a touchdown against Washington. This is a must-win. If they don't, come on, man.
Yeah, of course. I got it over. Of course, 6.5 is a perfect number because they're going to win by a touchdown.
Yeah.
So we're both on Kansas City here. I got Kansas City 34, Washington Football Team 27. I think both these teams are going to score a lot of points. No matter what, these defenses are
So you got over too?
Are horrible. Yeah, you got to go over, and that's the worst part. This is a game where it's I guarantee probably 90% of the money's on the over. You know what I mean? And it's so it's going to end up being under for some reason, but I got to go over here. On to the next matchup, Arizona Cardinals on the road against Cleveland Browns. This is probably one of the toughest games for me to pick of the week. Cleveland favored by 3.5 in this game.
3.5.
Over under 49.5. There's talks. I've looked at the weather report because honestly, it's Cleveland, so you got to check that. 20 to 30 mile per hour wind.
Tornado.
Yeah, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Now I don't know how fast that is in football speed, but that's still pretty good wind.
Yeah, it can definitely affect the pass. You know what I mean? Like average 12 to 15 is okay. They can still throw through that. 20 is getting to the point where it's okay.
Yeah.
This might sway a certain way.
Yeah, of course. So, and we already know Baker. It's irrelevant anyway. It's looking like he can't even make any passes.
Yeah.
And Nick Chubb is out of this game. So, how could you not? How could you? And Kareem Hunt's been great. Don't get me wrong. I take nothing away from Kareem Hunt at all.
Yeah,
he's been good.
We've seen Kareem Hunt without Nick Chubb, and the stats ain't really there.
Yeah,
you know
he's just not as effective as when Nick Chubb's on the field, plain and simple. So, I got to go with Arizona here, to be honest. I flip-flopped on this a lot, but the Cleveland Browns, without Nick Chubb, it's going to be hard. And we know the offensive weapons. Jarvis Landry came off the pup, but I'm not sure if he's going to play. Probably not going to play in this game.
Plug and play insert. I'm not really sure.
That's what I'm saying. And then OBJ, I mean, we talked about this. It's the curse.
It's one of those weird things. He might get in the end zone this one. You know what I mean? But
this is a good matchup for him, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the value is too great for plus money on Arizona, and I'm going to take them here. They're 4-1 on the road against the spread, and at home in the last 7, the Cleveland Browns are 2-5.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Especially with not having Nick Chubb there, you're looking at Damon Felton or Patterson to, take over this role, and they haven't played much this season. So against this team that is 5-0 right now, number 1 in most rankings, especially ours, I got to take Kyler.
Yeah. Well, we're on the same boat. We're both on the money line. I got the under in this game because I think Cleveland's defense is pretty good, and Arizona's defense plays well sometimes in spots. So I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals 24-23. It's going to be a field goal to win it.
It's going to be a good game.
So now we're heading out west. We got a divisional matchup. Las Vegas Raiders. New head coach, new play caller on the road in Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos defense. Denver favored by -3.5. Over under 43.5 here.
I have a feeling it's going to be under.
I'm a little biased because I want the Raiders to win the football game, period. So let's be honest, the Las Vegas Raiders did not look good last week. And I think there was a big elephant in the room when it came to trying to play football. You know what I mean?
We want to touch on a little bit. There were some comments made that was prior to the signing of John Gruden on that team. And, ultimately it has them out of the league right now. And, you look at them
football altogether.
Yeah, period. I think there's no coming back from
that
at all. Especially, you hit the trifecta. You hit all those things. We're not going to get in depth with that. But, man, you look at the offensive coordinator that's there right now. He's never on this team called one play.
Yeah.
Derek Carr has never called a play in his career. I think this is going to be a defining factor. You know what I mean? And you look at teams coming in. You look at the Bears last week coming in. They were fueled and they wanted to get at this team because of that. Gruden had to go.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing about it. And it sucks for that team because they had a whole new hype. They had a whole new momentum, new city, winning football games. They look very good, but I still think it's going to take a week or two, maybe a month for them to recalibrate and get things back to football and the identity of what they want to exactly be, because that identity is obviously no longer on that team. You're looking at a division foe with Denver Broncos. They have a great defense. They can sling the ball with a lot of people. Teddy Bridgewater's not turning this ball over.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball downfield, which is what a lot of people didn't expect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You still got Javonte Williams. You still got Melvin Gordon running this ball. I really think they win. There's a lot of questions on the offense, just period. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to see a uptick in snaps for Josh Jacobs here? Are we going to see him cut down more?
He's been actually upticking.
With Peyton Barber coming back into the mix, you know what I'm saying? We don't know because the play caller is gone. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to even lean on the Raiders winning this game. I'm gonna take it money line. I don't know how to else say it.
Yeah, I got you. I totally understand. I'm gonna go plus 3.5 for the Las Vegas Raiders. Maybe they rally around this new coaching staff and they get it done. We've seen greater things. I mean, I'm more excited. Playing my Madden game. I got my new head coach. His name is Ron Garden. So,
They even snatching him off Madden. That's like so petty, but
I'm telling you, Ron Garden, new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So,
regardless, we're a West Coast podcast and we love the Raiders, but hopefully they move through this thing. But
yeah, you're going in the right direction.
It's crazy.
I'm going to give the 3.5. So you got the money line on Denver Broncos?
Yeah, I'm gonna just take Denver to win.
Okay, I'm going to go over the 43.5 just barely, and I'm going to give the Las Vegas Raiders a 1-point win, 23-22. They pull it out. Now we got the Dallas Cowboys on the road against New England Patriots. Could be weather in this game, to be honest, but Dallas favored by -3.5, over under 50.5. I don't see how I could take New England to win this football game. Dallas played so great.
I don't see the 50.5.
I'll tell you right now, Dallas played unbelievable football, plain and simple. It's on all facets, offense, defense, everything. They've been great. Trayvon Diggs is questionable game time call. He was limited in all the practices. I don't see why he wouldn't be out there. But well, obviously Jerry Jones said he's going to be out there, so he will be playing.
It's Jerry World.
I'm telling you. So
You just a squirrel.
New England Patriots have not played necessarily great football, but they've won a couple games. Don't get me wrong. They're at home. They played good against Tampa a couple weeks ago.
I think they were emotionally charged for that game, though.
Of course. That played a factor.
Yeah, Mac Jones, even after that last week, he didn't really look that good.
Yeah.
You let Houston come back on you the way that they did. I'm like, come on, man.
They almost lost to Houston. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
I don't know.
come on, man. Yeah. So, Dallas Cowboys, I got to take them at 3.5. There's no way. How else are you going to pick it? You really think they squeak out a win? You think they're going to need a field goal to beat the New England Patriots?
If you want to take it 175 money line in a parlay, that's fine. But 3.5, I really do think that they win by at least a score here.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, they can run the football. They can throw the football. They got
Very balanced
good
team.
offensive weapons at all facets. Period. And New England can't stop all of them.
Yeah.
They really can't. I think the reason New England didn't score a lot of points was the weather. Plain and simple. Tom Brady, I want to say had, 60% completion percentage because the ball was wet the whole time, people dropping them.
I think the Patriots are the same way that the Niners are. They're not who they say they are.
Yeah.
They play pretty tough at home, but other than that, you got a rookie quarterback out there, and we'll see.
All right, so we're moving on. I got the over in this game, just barely, to be honest. Maybe it's too many points. You check the weather. If it's really, really raining, and I think it was 20% when I looked. If it's really raining, obviously you're going to see a lot more running the football more than likely, less passing. Obviously, the score will probably be a little lower in that case. But I got Dallas winning.
Yeah, I got Dallas by 3.
I got Dallas winning by 5, 28-23.
Right on.
All right, so we're down to the last two. We got a Sunday night matchup. Seattle Seahawks on the road against Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh minus 5.5, 43 over under. And I really think Seattle at the 5.5 could hang in the game a little bit. Pittsburgh, I don't think is going to be blowing a bunch of people out. Their offense looked great last week. Don't get me wrong. Take nothing away from it. They played very well. Can we see it again? You know what I mean? That's the problem because Pittsburgh can put up games like this and then the next week completely fall off. So I'm torn here. Seattle's defense hasn't looked good. And the reason they haven't looked good,
terrible.
They've been on the field so much. You'd realize they've been on the field 35 minutes a game right now. That's 10-minute differential from the offense to defense. That's not good. That's too much. And especially for a defense that ain't that good to begin with, then you want to lay them out there even longer. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just not smart. So Seattle's got to be able to run the football. Can they do it against Pittsburgh? Probably not. No Chris Carson. He's on the IR. Alex Collins, they're going to mix and match. Travis Homer.
You know
what
what
I'm saying?
Pete Carroll does not like Alex Collins at all. Neither does John Harbaugh. And I really think it's the end zone dance. It's the river dance. I really think they hate him because of that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so I was going to say, I just think Seattle's hangs in the game. I like it. I like it on the plus.
Yeah, you're looking into this game. They're playing with a different fire. The season is on the line right now. You look at Geno Smith against the Rams when Russell Wilson went out. He played with a different fire. You know what I'm saying? He really looked like a guy who could push the ball against a really good defense.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his... Well, just sorry to interrupt, but the interception. Tyler Lockett fell down.
Yeah.
It wasn't Geno's fault, in my opinion, but...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you're looking at a whole road of redemption for his career.
Yeah.
And this is the prime spot to do it. You got DK Metcalf and Lockett over here, and you could potentially shoot it out with these Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, on the other hand, Najee Harris looked good on the last couple of games. You know what I mean? And they're starting to run the ball a little bit more. What they're doing also, they realize that Ben Roethlisberger cannot throw down the field.
Yeah.
And they're throwing this big target. I don't know if you know, Juju Smith is out of the roster. You know what I'm saying? On IR, completely hurt.
Yeah.
And even before that, he was terrible anyway. Okay. So they probably could have put him on IR week 1.
Yeah.
You get Chase Claypool in the slot, and they look really good. You know what I mean? So maybe they can move this ball a little bit. But I don't think for 1 second that Pittsburgh is going to blow this team out. You know what I mean? I think that Seattle, through the air with DK, Tyler Lockett, you're going to see this until week 10, until Russ come back. That's what they finna do. They finna throw the ball a lot.
Yep.
Chris Carson on the IR till week 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not the ordinary Seahawks offense that you're going to see. It's just not. You know what I mean? Geno Smith is not scared to throw this ball. But what comes with Geno Smith is turnovers.
Yeah.
And when you have turnovers and a defense this bad, you know, Pittsburgh can probably take advantage of it. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh money line in this game. I don't know about the spread because I can never back the Pittsburgh Steelers period to cover at all because they've been absolute trash in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Ben Roethlisberger's been done for a while.
Yeah.
You know, last year they beat nothing but bad teams. And if you say this week they're facing a bad defense, I'd agree with you there. You know what I mean? And they could probably win this game. You look at in the last 6 games, the favorite has been won in this matchup 5-1. And that favorite is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Pittsburgh money line.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm kind of regretting my pick on the 5.5 for Seattle because who knows the defensive score for Pittsburgh. And
Yeah, you know.
I'm going to stick with my pick at Seattle 5.5 and hope that Geno doesn't throw a pick six.
Yeah.
Don't throw an interception for a touchdown. 24-20, Pittsburgh Steelers. I still got them winning.
All right.
All right, on to the Monday Night Football matchup.
That's
Buffalo
fair.
Bills on the road against Tennessee Titans.
Chicken
Buffalo
dinner.
-5.5.
Hey, man. Monday night, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm barbecuing, and it's going to be chicken.
Okay.
Ribs, a lot of shit.
I got you.
Buffalo finna murder them.
Yeah, so the over-under is 54. Tennessee's getting their weapons back, plain and simple. A.J. Brown will be in this game. Julio Jones will be back in the game. Their weapons are back and somewhat healthy, right? To say. The offensive line for the Tennessee Titans is terrible. Plain and simple. There's no way around it. And Buffalo is getting a pass rush.
So is the
Rousseau.
defense.
Yeah, that's... there's not much to say with the Buffalo offense. It's elite. Plain and simple. They got playmakers. They're running the football effective enough with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. And Josh Allen's playing great
It's one of
at
the
a
best
high level.
period.
Yeah. So, and Dawson Knox, a third-year breakout tight end. I'm excited for that. I just don't see the Tennessee Titans being able to hang in this game. I
Yeah.
really don't. And I think Tennessee's one of these teams that they could show up and shoot out with anybody, or they could lose by a lot. You know what I mean? And I just don't see it with guys that I don't think are fully healthy.
Yeah, this is another divisional game. And you look at last year, the COVID season, all this other stuff that's going on. You know what I mean? You remember last year, Tennessee, we were like, they should forfeit games because they were like breaking the protocol and all this other stuff. And you remember last year, there was a game where they were supposed to play Tennessee and it came down to like the day that they had to travel there. They were already game planning for Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they lost that game against Tennessee and they lost that game against Kansas City. I think they come back with a vengeance in this game because obviously they've been going to people's houses and blowing them out. You know, number one defense led by Josh Allen, hurdling people. You know what I'm saying? I see a big spot for Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders in this game. I honestly think they win by 21, to be honest with you. But, you know, I got Buffalo 5.5, period.
Okay.
in this
Yeah,
game.
I'm on Buffalo at 5.5 also. I think I'm going to take the under on this one and give you a nice juicy score. Buffalo 30 to Tennessee 23. It's going to be 53 points scored, just under a shade. So
We ain't scared of no Titans. We got Buffalo all day.
yeah, of course. So that's been the matchup video. All of our matchups, our picks, spreads, all that good stuff heading into week 6. So once again, if you like the video, don't forget, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. If you have any questions about any of these picks or you want to hear about any of these teams, drop in
Or
the comment
if
section.
you want to see a different video, let me know. Let us know so we can put it out there for you.
Yeah, of
we
course.
got you, period.
Yeah.
You need a plug, it's right here.
Yeah. So, once again, for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott,
Godzilla.
and we out.
Yeah, yeah.